Imagine this. In the glittering halls of Dubai's Crystal Alner Hotel, where billion-dollar deals are sealed over crystal glasses and whispered promises, a single word could shatter empires. But what if the person who says it all isn't a suited executive or a high-powered diplomat, but a humble maid with a mop in her hand and fire in her eyes? Welcome to the Jones Life Stories, where we dive into tales of triumph over adversity, stories that remind us true power comes from within, not from titles or wealth. Today, we're unraveling the incredible journey of Madison Carter, a woman who turned mockery into mastery and silence into strength. If you've ever felt overlooked or underestimated, this one's for you. Stick around, because by the end, you'll be inspired to chase your own breakthroughs. Smash that like button, share with someone who needs a boost, and subscribe to the Jones Life Stories for more motivational magic. Let's dive in. The Crystal Alner Hotel stood like a shimmering beacon in Dubai's heart, its glass facade reflecting the relentless desert sun. Inside, the lobby gleamed with marble floors and jasmine-scented air, but the grand conference room buzzed with tension. A billion-dollar negotiation between a British energy consortium and Sheikh Zayed Al Falhan, an Arab tycoon whose oil empire spanned continents, was unraveling. The British team, led by Simon Hargrove, a sharp-dressed executive in his mid-40s with a smug grin, sweated despite the chilled air. Simon's tailored jacket was perfect, but his nerves betrayed him. Across the table sat Zaid, towering in a pristine white thobe, gold-rimmed sunglasses hiding piercing eyes, flanked by stoic assistants in dark suits. The interpreter, Ahmed, a nervous man with slipping glasses, botched a key phrase, turning a financial guarantee into an upfront payment demand. To Zaid, it was an insult, as if he were a street vendor, not a global magnate. He rose, chair scraping like thunder, his voice booming in Arabic. "So the British think we're cheap merchants, insulting our honor?" The room froze. Simon stammered, "I'm terribly sorry, Your Excellency. That's not what we meant." But Zaid stormed toward the door, assistants scrambling behind the deal, billions in oil investments and infrastructure, slipping away like sand. In the corner, unnoticed, was Madison Carter, 26, a housekeeper with long black hair and a neat ponytail, her uniform crisp but plain, no makeup, her sharp eyes steady. She wasn't there to negotiate. She was mopping the floor, her bucket a silent witness. But Madison was no ordinary maid. Born in a small Midwest town, her family struggled after her father's job loss. At 10, they moved to Oman for her mother's teaching job, where Madison absorbed Arabic, playing with local kids, haggling in markets, reciting poetry under starry skies. Language is the soul's bridge, an Omani neighbor taught her, forging her resilience. Back in the U.S. at 18, she worked odd jobs, saving for college, but her mother's illness drained funds. Landing at the Crystal Alner via a friend, she cleaned sweets by day and studied languages by night, her notebook her constant companion. As Zaid gripped the doorframe, Madison's heart raced. "I've cleaned messes, but this is different." She set her mop down, stepped forward, bowed slightly, and in flawless Gulf Arabic said, "Forgive them, Your Excellency. They meant to assure a fair partnership built on respect." Her voice was calm, authentic, honed from 8 years in Oman. Silence gripped the room. Zaid stopped, turned, his eyes locking onto her. "You speak my language?" he asked, testing her. "I lived in Oman for 8 years, she replied, bowing again. Simon's mouth gaped, his pen frozen. Ahmed adjusted his glasses, paling. Not everyone was impressed. Claire Thompson, a sleek British executive with a bob haircut and designer scarf, whispered loudly, "Who let the cleaning lady in here?" Her sharp laugh echoed, joined by Marcus, a colleague with a flashy watch. "Maybe she's here to mop up our mistakes." Laughter spread, cruel and low. Madison's fingers tightened on her apron, but her face stayed calm. In Arabic, she murmured, "Intent matters more than words," unsettling Claire's smirk. In the Jones Life Stories, every jab is fuel for your fire. Don't let noise drown your voice. Rise like Madison. Hotel manager Paul Reynolds, a wiry man with slicked back hair and a self-important tie, stormed in, grabbing Madison's arm. "What are you doing?" "You're a housekeeper. Clean floors," he hissed. She met his gaze calmly, nodded, and walked toward the door, her mop left behind. At the doorway, Zaid's assistant, with a trimmed beard and nervous watch-checking habit, mocked in Arabic. "Leaving already? The room's not clean." Madison paused, replying without turning. "Even cleanliness starts with respect." His smile vanished. Zaid's lips twitched. The room grew heavy, laughter silenced as Madison's steps echoed down the hall. Outside, she leaned against the wall, fingers brushing her notebook, then continued, shoes silent on marble. "Respect is earned through quiet strength as we share on the Jones life stories. Stand tall, your worth isn't their words." In the service corridors, kitchen staff led by Raoul, a burly chef with a booming laugh, jeered. "The maid who thinks she's a big shot." A sous chef tossed a damp rag at her feet. Madison folded it neatly, saying, "Work doesn't need a title," silencing their smirks. In the lobby, affluent guests laughed. A woman with a fur stole called, "The maid who played diplomat." A man with a loud tie added, "Stick to the mop, sweetheart." Madison glanced back. "A mop cleans floors. What cleans arrogance?" Their laughter died as she exited through revolving doors, murmuring, "Arrogance is a blindfold." Back in the room, Simon tried to salvage. "Your Excellency, if we could clarify," Zaid cut him off. "Let her sit. She will translate." Paul protested. "She's just." Zaid's glare silenced him. Madison returned, sat, and translated flawlessly, capturing nuances, Zaid's nods, Simon's fidgets. During a break, Claire sneered. "You're out of your depth, aren't you?" Madison replied, "Depth isn't measured by titles." Claire's smile cracked. "Your depth comes from experience, not labels. Like, share, subscribe to the Jones life stories." The meeting ended. Zaid left with a long look at Madison. Paul ambushed her in the lobby. "You've shamed this hotel." She placed her name tag on the counter, a final click, bowed and walked away. A valet, Amir, mocked. "Think you're a hero?" She replied, "Heroes don't clean floors, but they don't mock them either." That evening, a wax-sealed note from Zaid arrived. "I need to speak with her privately." Paul's face fell. In the penthouse, Zaid slid Madison a letter, an invitation to the Abu Dhabi Energy Summit's Language Advisory Panel. "You understood intent. Most advisors lack that," he said. His assistant sneered. "A fluke. You're just the help." Madison retorted, "Help builds empires. What do you build?" Zaid raised an eyebrow. In the elevator, an event planner, Sophia, scoffed. "No drama from the cleaning crew." Madison said, "Drama fades, skill doesn't." At the summit, her plain dress drew stares. A journalist smirked. "The maid who got lucky?" Madison replied, "Charm doesn't speak languages. Work does." Gossip spread. Clerk Tara claimed Madison caught Zaid's eye, fueling tabloid headlines. A wink that changed her life. Messages called it a lucky break. Madison deleted apps, focusing on her notebook. At her press conference, she opened with classical Arabic proverbs, earning applause. A professor clapped. "I never thought I'd hear this from an American." Headlines shifted. Gulf linguistic specialist, named OPEC chief interpreter. She silenced a condescending interpreter's jab, skipping the line. With, lines don't matter, accuracy does. Visiting the U.S., relatives like Cousin Jenna scoffed, just lucky. Madison smiled, her notebook now holding Spanish and French. On the flight back, she charmed an Egyptian boy in Arabic. His mother thanked her. A flight attendant snapped. "Studying on a plane? Think you're important." Madison said, "Learning never stops." At OPEC, Madison led, Simon's handshake clammy, Zaid's nod respectful. A reporter asked, "How does a maid rise?" She said, "I never saw it as beneath me. Language has value." At the closing dinner, an executive patronized. "A fairy tale." She countered, "Fairy tales end, work doesn't." Reuters reported Zaid's $2 billion U.S. investment, quoting, "She understands what others miss." Investors sought her. Paul was fired. Tara lost sponsorships. Simon's team faltered. Madison founded a scholarship for overlooked talents, sharing her story in workshops. Her book, Silent Strength, inspired millions. In Dubai, a plaque honored unsung heroes, subtly nodding to her. Tara volunteered for her program. Simon credited her in interviews. Madison advised on peace talks, her notebook now an app, her legacy waves of change. The Jones Life Stories teaches silence a strategy. Turn setbacks into setups. Subscribe, share, like. Your story's next. To everyone who's been misjudged, you were seen. Where are you watching from? Comment below and follow the Jones Life Stories for tales of heartbreak, betrayal, and healing.